Hey everybody. So this episode we're going to be talking with Wen Medina, who is one of our best candidates so far for FAVA. So I'm going to invite him right now.
Yes.
Hey Wen, how's it going?
Fixing this up.
How's it going, man? Can you hear me well?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you well. Can you hear me well?
Yeah. So everybody,
Nice.
please let's drop.
Nice,
Everybody
nice.
in the video, please drop one in the comments if you can see Wen right now, because we're currently going live. So today, man, we're gonna be talking about a little more about your experience in cold calling, like how do you start there, all the activities that have to do with sales and marketing, appointment setting, a little bit more about like how do you start work. So just curious, man, how do you find about FAVA, about us as a company?
Yeah, so I was actively looking for a job, something where I can develop my skills in terms of cold calling and even building relationship with different kind of industries, businesses. I saw that you was scrolling on Facebook because I actually have some notifications turned on in terms of job opportunities and things like that. And since I had that search criteria on my Facebook, I was able to find one of your ads. That's where I applied, and it was like, I would say like 24 hours later, I got an email. Then I got an invite to one of your groups, and it was really in a smoother way where then I got a meeting. 24 hours after that, I got the contract.
Awesome, man. So it was a very smooth process for you to get the job, right?
Indeed. This is the first time I see something like it goes that smoothly in terms of hunting a job. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's because, me and my colleagues work very hard to make this happen. Now, it was definitely because of your application video, which was so important. So let's talk about that. Like, how much experience do you have in cold calling, appointment setting? Because you clearly know what you're doing.
Yeah. No. So when I did the application video, I share with you guys most likely what I have done before, and I most likely, in terms of cold calling, work calling, or whatever kind of approach, even emails, even LinkedIn outreach, I have experience on lead generation as well. So I think that's really important to break down everything that you have accomplished with the previous organizations that you work with, so you can have the exposure that I got at that moment, because I know you guys checked it out and saw like, hey, no, this guy has enough experience. He has worked in different multiple industries, even different countries. I explained everything in really well detailed. So I think that's what makes me to stand out from everybody else. I think the most important and the key part of this that will show you if you're a potential employee or a potential good employee is if you perform a really good video presentation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I tell all the candidates that their video is key. Their video is crucial whenever they are applying. Now, how do you get started in this whole appointment setting, cold calling, outbound sales? I mean, outbound sales in general.
So I started like I would definitely say like 2 years and a half ago, because I used to be a collector agent, and then the whole, it was a game changer when I started on sales. I fell in love with it, and most likely when I started on sales, I started on something really complicated that gave me this kind of skills, which is selling Azure solutions or cloud environments, cloud migrations, and even sometimes even explain about on-prem solutions. So that gave me the enough skill set necessary to accomplish whatever calls needs to be made. Like whatever call, whatever industry, you give me a bunch of lead lists and you have a good product, definitely I will bring some business out of it.
Right. So yeah, one of the reasons why we reached out to you is because we were checking the LinkedIn, we were checking your resume, and clearly you had some experience in software sales, which is not an easy task. Absolutely right. Accenture, you were selling the Azure suite, and that definitely has given you experience over candidates who just sold for small businesses, right? Or just like, very easy products. So do you like get trained on the job for that, or do you read books? Do you take online courses? How's the experience then for that?
So I actually got a big part is on training. I got a big part of the knowledge I got. It was based on training, but I would say like, well, if you start a job like that, the training that you get is like a general overview, because they need you to be on the phone, and that's what every company is looking for right now. The whole industry changed, and right now it's not anymore like when Microsoft used to like deliver a new product and everybody will purchase it from Microsoft because it's Microsoft. It's no longer like that. So every company right now needs somebody who has enough experience about the product, about how to approach people, how to build relationship in order to close business. That's how it works now these days. And Accenture gave me the possibility of open the door for that kind of industries, like sales in general for bigger companies, tech sales, whatever product you put me on my position, I will close it for sure. So yeah, most likely I would say Accenture open the door for me for the sales industry.
Got it, man. Besides the training that you had on the job, do you ever take any sales course, for example, like Straight Line Method by Jordan Belfort or anything like that?
Sales courses, no. However, I encourage whoever is watching this right now to, instead of scrolling on Facebook, I consider the social media really powerful tool. So instead of scrolling through TikTok without content that is nonsense, so that's not going to bring any value, follow people who are in sales and give good advices or life advices. Gary Vee is a good one. Grant Cardone is not my favorite, but he has a few good tips I got from him. Tony Robbins as well, Bradley, just to mention a few, of course. But yeah, I mean, I would encourage everybody that's watching here and wants to get a job as soon as possible, and besides that, things that have a decent level of English, to start watching content about sales and join groups of it in Facebook, Instagram, whatever you normally use in your daily basis.
Right, man, and definitely, you watch those people. I've also watched a lot of Grant Cardone, especially some of Dan Locke as well, Ty Lopez. Now let's talk about the English, because a lot of candidates reach out to me. They want to be cold callers, they want to be appointment setters, they want to charge more. But sometimes their level of English is not there yet. Like I was there 5 years ago. I was not that good at speaking. The speaking part, I have to work a lot, doing exercises. So I would ask you, how do you get so good at that, or what advice would you give to someone who is maybe not that good at speaking English, that level, but I mean they're not there yet, but they wanna get there? What should they do?
Mm-hmm. So Christian, that's a really good question, and I'm glad that you asked me that, because I want to share with you something personal. My father died like when I was 12 years old. I knew from there that I was going to be the man of the house. So I think that was kind of a pressure to tell me like, hey, you need to learn something, yes or yes. By that time, when I was 12 years old, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn a skill or whatever is going to be profitable in a couple of years, right? So what I did, I didn't want to go to my mom and say like, hey, can you pay a monthly course or something, for me to learn English? Because it was barely for food and other expenses, college, whatever, right? So what I did is what I encouraged before. Your content should be only in English. Your fun should be only in English. If you play some games on your PlayStation, it should be in English. Movies in English. Songs, it might sound kind of weird, but I sung some songs from Coldplay, some sad songs at the beginning, because that's slow. It's not that fast, the kind of song that I was trying to sing at that moment. So I think that the baby steps is really important, but you need to be in a whole English environment. And no matter how crazy you think you look, it's really important for you to try to sing, and then even start to scaling up. You know, like you start from some like sad songs, and then you start going up to R&B, which is more is faster, a little bit faster, and then you if you once you ended up rapping, like you get a really good song from Eminem. Well, that's kind of hard. I got that level like after 3 years from practicing. But if you go with something really, I would say like people who raps in with a really good terms in English, with a really good pronunciation, you will learn a lot. You will get that fluency. Like as you hear me right now, I'm singing, but you don't know because it looks like that I'm talking, you know. So I recommend singing, movies. Your environment should be 100% in English, and try to speak with yourself. Try to learn songs, and if you can get a peer who can help you to speak once in a while over a phone, and even practicing role playing, cold callings, things like that. Pretty sure that will help you on your next video presentation, and you will get hired within a week for sure.
Right, that's why I tell the candidates, and I also there is a free app called ELSA, which is I think it's called English Language Speaking Accent, something like that. And they give you exercises to practice your English to get better, and they actually give you a score. They're very tough, like they don't sugarcoat it. They tell you exactly where you are saying a phrase, where you made a mistake, and they give you like recommendations. So besides that, do you learn anything like in school, like do you take English classes in school, or do you learn anything just on the fly, music, movies?
Being frankly, most of what I learned, like pronunciation, fluency, that kind of stuff, that comes from songs, interview, like surrounding myself with the English environment. That's fluency. But if you wanna like don't make a bit like I would say like mistakes while you're talking, I would definitely say that school helps you on that, like present perfect, future perfect, things like that. I don't recall real good right now, but you get my point. So yeah, I mean, it will be necessary in case you think that by listening to the songs or watching movies is not being enough, and you need like, it's not about getting you on a course. It's about having you accountable, right? Because if you pay for a course, you really try to get the results. But if you don't pay nothing and you start to do what I say, you're not going to be committed to that. So you have to be 100 committed, or have someone else to keep you accountable, which is of course paying the course or whatever, or a school or something like that. But yeah, school, I wouldn't say it was like 10% of what I learned so far.
Got it, man. Now, getting back to the job, actually, I see that you started in collections, right? So you were calling people to collect their debt, right?
Right. It was a funny side of my life, yeah.
That sounds funny though, but it must have been tough in the beginning. What's the mindset that it takes to succeed at a job like that, where I get, some people don't want to pick up the phone, they ghost you, they kind of hide, they say, oh no, let me talk to my wife, they give you all the bullshit that they like hide behind. Oh no, I'm not here, I'm not here taking a nap. Call me maybe.
Call me maybe in a month. Yeah. So when I started on sales, I well, first of all, I love collections when I started on it, because I was calling in a more like I'm the boss. I'm the ones who takes the lead on this call. So I got that mindset from collections, because like, hey, it's up to you. If you don't pay, your credit score will go down, and you're not gonna be able to buy a home anytime in the future, right? So that's like a kind of pressure. And by the time that I was in collection, I thought that sales was like, oh, please purchase my product. I really need the money. But when I started on sales and transitioning from collections, I saw that with sales you're helping. So when you're calling, you need to have the mindset of like a collections agent, that, hey, I'm helping you not to go bankrupt. And this is what I'm doing. I'm helping you to get more clients, either Facebook ads or whatever product I sell. So I'm helping you for you not to go bankrupt in these days that COVID has everybody shut down. And we're giving you leads, potential prospects, things like that. So collection, I would say that it was really helpful in terms of mindset for me to reach into sales and be successful on it.
Right, and also something that is a common trend between all the appointment setters that are successful is that they have to kind of like, at least like sales, right? Because otherwise, some people don't like being on the phone all day. Like I've been there, you know, I've made thousands of cold calls. I realized it's not something I love, but you have to be, I mean, to be good, you at least need to like it, right? Otherwise, you're not gonna last in the job, right?
Right, and that's part of your mindset where you're taking calls. If you're taking calls and you say, "Oh, I don't like this," you have negativity on you, so probably you won't even schedule one appointment. But if you're going like, "Hey, you know, I'm calling because I really want to help people. I really want to bring business into their industry," you know, they're gonna pay attention on you. That you're gonna hear some no's. I'm pretty sure you hit the call calls pretty much, and from those 1,000 calls, I'm pretty sure that 850 said no, you know, but 150 said yes, and 100 you closed it, right? So sales is a numbers game, and if you do something that you say, "Hey, I don't like this, I want to get rid of this, I'm gonna look for something else," don't have that positive that kind of mindset. Go for positiveness in your life. You see, like next call, if they say no, no worries, the next one will say yes, and that's how life it should be also. If this doors closes, the next one is going to be open.
What I'm saying is that not everyone can do the job, right? Like there are people that are just not cut for doing it long term.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that not everybody can do it. If you want to really do it, you will be able to do it. If you want to sit down yourself and learn something new, and if you're really committed with yourself, probably you will be able to accomplish and be good at it. You have to be consistently good to be great. So, but yeah, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's something tough. You need to put effort on it. Definitely.
Right, like a lot of people try hard and they just don't make the cut, right? Either they don't book enough appointments, they get tired, etc. So it takes a specific kind of personality, I would say, to be successful, right?
Right. That comes also with how confident you are about yourself, you know. So yeah, I'm agree with you. Not everybody now these days say like, "Hey, you know, I'm capable of closing $100,000 business today." You know, I haven't closed a $1 million business at this point, but I think that I'm able to, you know, and that's what differentiates me from other people out there. So yeah, you're right. I definitely say that this is not for everybody.
Right. I mean, I would love to say, you know, anyone can do it, but that would also undermine your performance, right? Because if I say anyone can do it, then it's not as big as an accomplishment. If you say, "Oh yeah, a few have made it," you know, a few have made it enduring the job, then it's more of a, you know, it's more impressive, of course.
No, makes sense. I get what you're saying. And when I said that everybody at some point can do it, is because I'm not good playing basketball, but if I know that if I go and hit the playground and I play for around 5 years, at some point I'm gonna be better than yesterday, you know.
Right.
So, and either way, if you're not good at it and you spend a couple of months calling, you learn something from it. Either words, either how to build relationships, and that you can use it in another different industry, customer service, collections, whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing gonna be like a full loss. You know, you're learning, definitely.
Yeah, sure. Like I've done the appointment setting through calling, and you know, when you use the right words, the right tonality, and when you're assertive, of course, people like I could book even 4 or 5 appointments out of calling. They typically were some sort of warm leads. Like I had talked to them via social media, cold email. Like there had been some sort of connection before. Now, in your case, let's describe kind of your typical day at the job. You work in an agency that does Cairo, something like that, or dentists.
Yeah, for me to share even more about the current job that I have right now. So, and I'm going to be clear with you, Christian. I think I haven't told you that I got into the let's say concrete business with my boss, which is Tony, right, the director of sales for the company. um, I still have the job for Accenture, and I still working on this. I'm still doing both. So in terms of chiropractic, I'm making like around, it depends, because they minimum request me 100 calls a day. But if I get 5 people on the call, and I set five appointments, that's more than enough. I'm good to go. So I didn't have to make 100 calls.
Right.
But since this is since sales is a numbers game, of course, you need to hit a certain quantity of calls. So most likely my daily basis is switching from one place to another. I make like 25 calls first, starting in the morning, just to warm up, and then I came back into the other job, which is just sending a couple of emails, not the big stuff, now that I got promoted recently. And then I go back to hitting more calls, 25 calls, sending emails, and waiting for inbound calls as well, leaving voicemails. Leaving voicemail is also something really good. It will practice your pitch, if you explain a little bit about your product there. And most likely at the end of the day, I like it because we can see what we've done in the day, and how successful you were. So that most likely is my daily basis.
And typically for just the chiros, you call around 100 people a day, right?
100, 120, yeah, depends.
And how many appointments do you book out of that?
So last week I booked 7 appointments. So 1.5 a day, I would say.
Right.
I'm still ramping up. I'll definitely say that at some point I'm gonna be reaching out like 2 or 3 a day, consistently every week, making it 10 a month, hopefully 15. That's the goal. So yeah, it's kind of hard. I wouldn't lie. I'm not gonna lie. Christian, hitting them in a calling way. When you reach the assistant and they're kind of hesitant, because you're gonna get to the assistant. You're not gonna be speaking with a chiropractic.
Right.
So
I was gonna ask you, like, how do you book appointments with the assistant, or do you get to book the appointment? Do you finally get to speak to the decision maker?
Both. I mean, it depends, because if you can go over through the to the assistant, great. And if you can speak with the doctor and book it up with him, amazing, because you can go ahead and just be sure that he's gonna be presenting on the next meeting, right? But when it comes to the assistant, he's the assistant. He doesn't want more job, right? Like I don't want to get more patients. Probably the chiropractor wants to make more money, but I'm not, because I'm the assistant, right? So you need to build the need around the assistant, so they can transfer that information that you're looking to transfer to the doctor, so he can decide if he wants to move forward or set up an appointment. Or sometimes they have a close relationship between the assistant and the doctor, so they tell you directly, yeah, we're looking for more patients, what are you offering? So you explain, and then you book the appointment on the doctor's calendar.
So sometimes, even when you speak to the assistants, sometimes you still get to book the appointment without having to talk to the doctor, correct?
Without having to talk to the doctor.
Because they are looking for more patients.
Because they are looking for more patients, yeah.
Great, that's amazing.
That's really important about building the relationship, because if you build a relationship with the assistant and they feel like they can trust you, they will speak with the doctor and say like, hey, this cool guy spoke with me. They are offering 15 to 20 new patients within the first 30 days. Would you like to have a 20 minutes call with his boss? Because I normally tell them like, hey, it's my director consultant who's going to be calling. So they say normally, yeah, let's do it. Or sometimes they reply an email saying like, hey, I won't be able to show up. Or worst case scenario, I would say that they reschedule, but not a big deal.
Right. Typically, what do assistants say? Do they say things like, yeah, we're not interested, I'll think about it? Things like that.
It's a combination of everything. Sometimes they even hung up on you on the call immediately. Like after they hear you like, hey, I called from Atlas, boom, they hung up. All right, that's part of the game, But sometimes like a normal pitch is like, no, we are in good shape. All right, but can you be in a better shape? That's a good reward. Like, are you in a good shape? Okay, but do you think you can do better? Like, you haven't enough time to bring more patients, or bring some older patients that they never came back for some reason. So yeah, most likely most of the pitches that I have is something like that. I'm in good shape. That doctor is not available, or he's fully busy. He doesn't ever have time to talk with because he's all day with patients. So that's when you come with another stuff like, hey, one of the issues that we solve as a company, we take some busy time out of your plate so you can have time freedom to do the things that matter most to you. So that's something that's a little bit more. Yeah, that's a good one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think if you were not talking to assistants, but instead to decision makers 100%, you would definitely book more appointments, right?
Yeah, of course. 100% more. Yeah. Yeah, they are a businessman. They are the business owner, and these clients, patients is a key factor in their business. So I approach them being nice, being a cool guy, letting them know like, hey man, I'm gonna bring 30 patients for sure within the first 30 days, generating you at least $17,000. That's something you would be interested in, right?
Yeah, it's
a possible. Yeah, it will bring more close radio also as well.
And if I might ask you, if this is private, you don't answer, but is there a plan for you to be eventually a closer, like for you to take the commissions on the sales calls, to take the sales calls eventually, or just take the appointments, just steady appointments from now on?
Well, on Accenture, I used to be a closer, so I have the experience on how to close businesses. The thing is that in this, since I'm ramping up, I have like a month now, less than a month now, I would say. I think that for you to be a closer, you need to be 100% sure about what you're talking about, know the product from top to bottom, glitch and outs, so I think at some point certainly will be something I'm going to be looking for, but right now I just want to make sure I'm going to be successful as an appointment setter.
Right, I was gonna say definitely first focus on getting 15 appointments per week on cold calling, then you can ramp that number up. And something I would suggest is testing more scripts. Like, don't just stick to one script. Test like, do you check in our course? I don't know if you check that we have the Wolf of Wall Street original scripts and objection handling.
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh no, you haven't. After this call, I'm gonna share with you. Yeah, we have some scripts from the actual Wolf of Wall Street, like Start on Okomo, the original scripts, and they have a whole sheet on training cold callers, on the mindset, on what to say to people who are not interested. So that's definitely something that might be a game changer for you. You might know the info already. You might know it, but if you don't know yet, then it's gonna be great. So something that I tell other guys that are also doing great is test different scripts, like test opening headlines, like saying, hey, instead of saying, how are you doing today, say like, did I catch you at a bad time? Or nothing like I've seen some cold callers, they say lines that are super counterintuitive. They say like, hey, this is a cold call. If you're interested, should we continue the call? Something like that, right? So you break the ice. You break the ice.
Yeah. You break something. Now that you mentioned that, and about changing the script, I was since when I started, I was kind of struggling a little bit to set up some appointments a day. So I said, I'm gonna change something right now. First call I made on the day, hey, this is Wen calling from Costa Rica. How's your day going? So it was kind of funny because she said, oh, you're from Costa Rica, and I said, yeah, I encourage you to visit this place whenever you have some time available. And they, I built that trust on that part, Awesome. I built the trust, yeah. And that was nobody says like, hey, I'm from this place. Normally they say I'm from the company,
Yeah.
So calling from Costa Rica, oh, Costa Rica. And then they say, how's your day? And I said, I had a lovely morning taking my pet for a walk down the beach. Why not feeling pretty blessed, right? And they say, yeah. You put them on a positive mindset there.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great approach, man. So finally, my last question would be, definitely you said that your experience with FAVA, with us as an agency has been great. So what are your tips for other VA candidates and appointment setters on interviews? Because you definitely nailed the interview. And some people are good, but they don't do that well in the interview. interview. So what would you tell them? What should they do different? What do they need to do in the interview to get the job, like to close the person on the spot?
Well, glad that you asked that, because when I got the interview for this position, I think that Tony, well, my current boss, he smelled that I was really good at it, so he was like, "Hey, I don't even need to ask you some questions, so let's just go ahead and move forward," right? But I had been in situations where they asked me really tough questions. So, well, first of all, prepare yourself before the meeting. Learn about the industry you're going to be working with if you get hired, of course. In that way, if they ask you something, you may want to respond with something related to their business. So that's gonna make like, hey, this guy made his research, so that means that he can perform well in our position. That's one of the things. Second of all, I would definitely say, like, if you're on the call, be confident, don't be afraid, response back as soon as you get the question. Of course, don't say whatever comes to in top of your mind, but that's why you have to be ready. Being ready is really important, and try to crush it. Show yourself that you have value. Demonstrate that on the call. Don't be afraid, and even you need to something I would definitely say that I encourage whatever who has an interview soon is to say, like, hey, what does an ideal candidate will be seen in 3 months from now being successful in the position, so they can picture yourself on that position being a top performer. And they will tell you, oh, I would say that you have to make 100 calls a day, close several quantity of business a month, so they put you, they picture yourself on the ideal candidate just by asking that question. So that's something really good I encourage to everybody does at the end of the meeting.
Got it, man. Well, so we're over for this interview, man. I really appreciate your time a lot, and I appreciate your advice. I hope we're getting right now 15 people watching this right now. So I can see that some people are going to be definitely taking some cues from you to do better in their interviews. And I'm going to share this with other candidates as well.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, and if I mind, can I upload this to YouTube? That's okay with you?
Yeah. Please go ahead and do so, and send me what you sent about the Wall Street. I'm really interested in that, man. Yeah. So, Christian, it was a pleasure. Thanks everybody who watched the live, and you can reach out to me as well on Facebook, Wen Medina. I'll be more than glad to respond to some questions. Willing to help. So, thanks, man. Take care.
Yeah. And again, everyone, thanks for watching this. Let's see you next week. Bye.
Bye.